And welcome back to Philly Sports Spotlight. Our guest tonight is radio talk show host Artie Clear from the Joyner, that's Seth Joyner, and the Clear in the Morning show. And Artie, the Phillies, well, they're getting ready to come north for the season opener next week. They open up against Atlanta. I want to get your thoughts on the team this year. And, you know, they talked about how great a pitching staff they have, but right now there was some concerns down in Clearwater about Doc. What are your thoughts on Doc?
Boy, it's really a hard one to give you on Doc Holliday. I know he had the flu, and I know he wasn't feeling well. He's topping out at 87 miles an hour. And he has to throw harder than that to be effective. I'm hoping that the spring training is just spring training. He comes north and he pitches better. He's the key to the Philadelphia Phillies is Doc Holliday, because you have Cliff Lee and Hamilton will start the opener, but they need those big three to pitch, especially in the division they're in. They need Holliday to perform like Roy Halladay. So if he can go, say, get 15 to 17 wins for the Phillies and lose less than 10, then he'll have himself a good year. He was injured last year. This year he comes back. But if he's at 87 miles an hour and not at 91, he won't be nowhere near effective as he would be at 91. So the jury's out, but it could help him.
Now, you talked about injured. He was injured last year. Injuries seem to have been plaguing this Phillies team for the last couple of years. The first baseman, the big bopper, of course. He came back at the end of last year. Your thoughts on Ryan? He's actually had a fairly decent spring.
I like Ryan Howard. When he is healthy, he can carry a baseball team for more than 1 month on his back. He's a guy who had 58 home runs, 148 RBIs. The year before he got hurt, 33 home runs, 116 RBIs. He can definitely help your team. And you lose your four-hitter or your three-hitter like Chase Utley, they need them guys to be healthy for them to have any chance at all. Ryan Howard has to be healthy through the whole season for the Philadelphia Phillies.
Okay, now the other guy on this team that all the ladies like is Cole Hamels and this guy, Chase Utley. You just mentioned Chase Utley. Here's another guy, injury. I mean, he's a big part of what's going to happen this year. He's got to stay healthy. Probably won't play a lot of games, but if he can contribute, this team could go somewhere.
Chase Utley being the power hitter at second base, they get 135 games out of Chase Utley. They'll be very happy. Let's not forget his glove and the combination of Jeremy Reynolds and Chase Utley, how they work together. Utley can hit. He'll hit home runs for the Philadelphia Phillies. He'll drive in runs. The table setters get on base. And here comes Chase Utley and Ryan Howard. If those two guys stay healthy, Phil, then there's a really good chance that the Philadelphia Phillies could do something special this year.
Now, you talked about that middle infield, Chase Utley and Jimmy Rollins. Here's my question to you. For the last couple of years, Jimmy Rollins, J-Row, has been the clubhouse leader, the leader of this team. Is he still the leader of this Philly squad?
Most definitely, yes, he's still the leader of this Philadelphia Phillies squad. And let's not forget Michael Young coming from Texas, who's a professional hitter playing third base for him. He's also a leader, and he'll help that clubhouse. But Jimmy Rollins is definitely the leader of the Philadelphia Phillies.
So, knock on wood, everybody stays healthy. This is a team you think, I mean, obviously Washington is a team to beat in this division, and they say that the Mets, Atlanta and the Mets, Phillies could still be there, right? Maybe a wild card?
I think that it can come down to maybe the last 2 weeks of the season where Atlanta, Philadelphia, and Washington would be fighting it out. And if that is the case, then the horses that we have, the big three of Hamels, Lee, and Halladay, with their experience, can put the Phillies over the top, and you can see them winning the division. I know that Washington got Soriano, they got Danny Herron out there, they made a trade with Mike Morse, and he brought others along. But the Phillies pitching, now they have Adams in the bullpen, and Papelbon, and Pistardo. With this type of team, if they get the pitching and some hitting, that's why they brought Michael Young in, the Philadelphia Phillies can win that division, Phil.
Yeah, well, the pressure's off of them coming north because people don't expect them to win the division, but whatever they do is icing on top of the cake. Okay, let's shift gears a minute, okay? We'll talk Philadelphia 76ers, and I'm just going to throw one name at you, and I want you to go off on what you feel about this. You ready? Andrew Bynum.
Oh, my goodness. Andrew Bynum, third worst trade the Philadelphia 76ers ever made. Number one, they gave Moses Malone away, and number two, they gave Will Chamberlain away, and number three, they gave almost their whole team away. They lose Vucevic, who's a double-double guy. They lose Andre Iguodala, who's Denver's playing great. They're going to contend for a title. They lose their first-round draft pick and another first-round draft pick on top of everything else. So right now, Andrew Bynum and Jason Richardson, who was in that deal, he's hurt for the year, and Bynum hasn't stepped 1 foot on the court and will be a free agent this coming year. So the Sixers, with that $17 million they gave to him, is all blown up money. You can buy whatever you want, but how could they do something like that and not know the guy was on it. It's just like
They were
Jeff
hoping.
rolling all
well,
over.
because he
time.
had played at the end of the previous year, and they thought that maybe they would give him something. And you saw the video of Bynum there. That was the Sixers media. I shot that on Sixers Media Day. That was the first and last time that we saw him actually in a Sixers uniform. Question is, should Doug Collins keep his job?
That's a tough question. I think he should keep his job because they depleted the team. They took Lou Williams away from the team also. Jody Meeks is out in L.A., and they really gave him nothing back in return. And that's why the Bynum trade is so bad, because they got nothing back. There's not one player that they got back in there that they can suit up and say, hey, this guy can help us. Bynum deal is a killer type of deal for the Sixers. And for Doug Collins, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a good coach, and sometimes he gets a little crazy, but I like him as the coach, and he'll bring the fans out. I think he stays.
All right, this one's for you. Is there a doctor in the house? Julius could probably come back right now and give you more than Bynum did, right?
Most
Absolutely, because
definitely.
he'd at least play.
He could suit up at least.
He'd at least play. All right, listen, we're going to take another break. You're doing great right now. This is what you can expect on Artie's show, too. When we return, we're going to talk football, which means Chip Kelly and the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see what Artie has to say about some of the moves made in this offseason. Stay tuned.